Y'all, you are in for a treat today with today's episode of the No Bullshit Manifestation Show. I have the absolute honor of interviewing one of my dear, dear friends, Miss Tal, who is a human design expert. And I know I'm not supposed to have favorites, but I think that this is my favorite guest interview I've ever done. The energy that me and Tal have together talking to each other, but also just like in our friendship and in this interview is so special. I hope that y'all feel like you're just sitting and chatting with the gals about human design. And I hope that you gain so much from this podcast episode because the way in which Tal describes and talks about human design has completely changed my life. I have learned a lot about human design from many different people over the past few years. And while it had resonated with me from what I had learned and talked about with other people, it didn't actually fully land with me until Tal talked to me about human design. And I've been able to now see her help and guide so many people through their human design. And it's been so cool to watch. So, just a little bit of information about Tal. You'll hear a lot about her inside of this podcast episode, but Tal is a former corporate leader turned certified spiritual life coach, and she is a passionate human design mentor. Her work through Energy with Tal empowers you to rediscover yourself, reprogram your past patterning, and activate your natural energy so that you can align to your most abundant life. And that's exactly what Tal has helped me do in my life. And the coolest thing is that Tal is actually offering all of you who listen to the No Bullshit Manifestation Show 15% off an energy reading with her. So if you go to her website, energywithtal.com, it's also going to be listed down below in the show notes. You can enter discount code MANIFEST for 15% off a energy reading with her. And y'all, I highly, highly suggest you doing this. This is something that I gift to my one-to-one clients when they come on board is a reading with Tal. And it has changed their lives. It has changed my life. It has changed so many people's lives, and it will change your life. So enjoy this podcast episode. And if you love this conversation and you're as obsessed with Tal as I am by the end of it, definitely do yourself a favor and book an energy reading with her because understanding your human design will change your life. What's up, and welcome to the No Bullshit Manifestation Show, the podcast that demystifies all of the nonsense that surrounds manifestation and gives you a realistic view of what it's like to be on a personal, professional, and spiritual growth journey. I'm your host, Kat Kozad, manifestation and money mindset expert, and I'm so happy you're here. Let's fucking do this thing. Alrighty, guys. Welcome back to another episode. Today, I have my beautiful friend Tal with me here on the podcast. Tal and I actually met at a mutual friend's party in Central Park over the summer, and I was searching for my friend in this sea of people for probably like an hour, and I'm pretty sure you were the same.
Yes.
Where like we were just searching for where our friend was. We almost like gave up, but then both of us ended up actually finding him. And I ended up sitting down directly next to you. And from the moment I met you, I was like, I need to be in this girl's energy. And our friendship has blossomed since then. So it's so fun to go from like this synchronistic moment in Central Park to now having you as like one of my dear friends here in the city. And for you to be able to share all of your wisdom around human design and just like living an incredible, authentic life here on the No Bullshit Manifestation Show. So, Tal, thank you for being here.
Thank you so much for having me. That made me emotional to listen to. It was such a beautiful thing to enter my life, getting to meet you, Kat, truly.
Yeah. It's been, absolutely insane and just like so cool to, everything that we're going to be talking about in today's podcast episode, but like when you find people that align with your energy, just the absolute like synergy and like magic that can happen as a byproduct of that. So as we hop into this conversation, I would love for you to just share your story of like what has led you to being who you are and doing what you do in the world today as Tal so that everybody can get to know you a bit better.
Yeah, absolutely. So my story starts, I think, similar to most people. I was on the path of life that had been laid out for me. I graduated college, I got the right job, I climbed the corporate career, I had moved to LA because that was the place to be. I very much was living in the matrix, living this life that I thought I needed to live. And shortly before the pandemic started in January of 2020, I moved to New York for a job opportunity. And over the pandemic, I realized that that job really wasn't right for me. I realized that I was pretty unhappy in the life I was in when I finally had an opportunity to kind of slow down, reconnect with myself, and really question, why am I here and what am I doing? I had all these realizations about me living a life that wasn't authentic to me and wasn't my own. Around that time, I discovered that I was queer. That was something I had not been letting myself realize my entire life. And I think over the course of the pandemic, like so many people, just starting to realize that I had been living inauthentically and out of myself. It was wild for me to learn that, I was gay and I was interested in women, and I had spent 29 years of my life not even admitting that fact. And that really opened the door for me to realize, what else have I been doing? How else have I been living that is completely off path and off track for me authentically? And so in that search, I was trying to figure out, who am I? What am I here to do? What is my purpose? And that search led me to human design. And I know you've had human design readings before you met me, but the first time I saw my chart and really saw myself reflected back in this incredible science, it just was like a light finally being turned on in my life and realizing, oh, this is who I am and this is what I'm meant to be doing. And it has completely altered the course of my life. I ended up leaving my corporate job. I've dedicated myself to really focusing on energy and helping other people discover their energy and discover their authentic selves, because that's what we all need to be doing if we want to be living our own authentic story and our own authentic life. We need to know, who are we authentically? What is our unique person and what is our unique purpose? And finding that over the last 3 years has completely transformed my path and my direction. And also, let me say, my happiness. I'm so much happier and more fulfilled getting to meet people like you and talk about things like this than I could have ever been if I had stayed on the path and the journey that I thought and believed the world had told me I needed to be on.
Yeah. Oh, so insane and so powerful. And I know you know, but I resonate so deeply with that like story of like, wow, I just really didn't know myself. And guys, everybody who's listening, Tal said this to me and it hit me like all like bricks in the best possible way of like, how can you live an authentic life if you don't know yourself authentically? Like she just said. And I want you to take a moment and just be like, oh, does that resonate with you? Because if you feel as though you're on some sort of path that doesn't light you up 100% or doesn't feel fully fulfilled to you, the key isn't changing all of these external things and trying to find the perfect puzzle pieces to fit into it. It's getting to know yourself on this really, really deep level. And through human design, you can really do that. And that's something that since we've become friends, you've opened my eyes up to so much more. And I feel as though I felt so much more connected to myself and my energy and being able to make better decisions and choose different things in my life as a byproduct of that. So I would love for us to like dive into and talk a little bit more about human design for anybody who's hopping in and being like, what the fuck is human design? But then also like how we can use our energy and all of the different aspects of human design to make those decisions for ourselves.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, human design, for those of you who aren't familiar with it, it is a combination of ancient studies, ancient modalities, including astrology, the Chinese I Ching system, the Kabbalah tree of life, and the Hindu chakra system. It synthesizes all of those ancient sciences and also adds in quantum physics and modern day science. And so, what is so beautiful about human design is I tell people, it's like a complete roadmap to your own life. It's like a user manual to who you are, how you are meant to be living, and where you are meant to be going. And so it's an immensely complicated study for anyone who has maybe pulled your chart before, or if you haven't, we can definitely include ways for you to do that after this by visiting my website. But there's so much meat and depth in each of our profiles and each of our charts. And by learning the ins and outs of the way that you are designed to be, the way that your energy naturally exists, it's like getting shortcuts and cheat codes for how to create an abundant life for yourself in ways that actually work for you, rather than, I think so many of us, we see these different people living lives we think that we want to be living. We take their advice, but what works for them is not necessarily what's going to work for you, because you are a unique human being with your own unique way of living. And so human design gives you kind of that roadmap for, Kat, what's actually going to work for you, not just what's working for everyone else.
Yeah, absolutely. And we love a cheat code. Cheat codes are the fucking like they are the vibe. One of
Way to
my
go.
yeah, one of my dear friends, Vivi, we like back and forth to each other is like, dude, just got this cheat code. Like, you got to check it out and see what happens for you. And it really is. It's like being able to, like you said, within human design, specifically find these things that's like, oh, okay, that thing that that girl on Instagram was saying, that doesn't work for me. No,
Yeah,
no,
not for
that
me.
doesn't work for me. But this does. And
Mm.
this is coming from this self-sourced place, which just like it feels so damn good when you get to that place and you have those cheat codes. So what's the kind of foundation of human design again for somebody who's brand new to this? What are the energy types? What are those sorts of things so people can start to find themselves within it?
Yeah, absolutely. So within human design, there's 5 core energetic types that the population is broken into. So the first type is known as a generator type. There are about 33% of the population who are pure generator types. Kat, that's actually what you are, as you know. Pure generator types are here to be the builders and creators of society. What makes them have this unique type is that they have sacral energy. So those of you familiar with the chakra system, your sacral energy is your life force energy, your creative energy. Generators are here to use that energy to go, 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 and to build, but very, very specifically to build the things that they love. So, someone like Kat as a generator, you have found this thing that you love talking about. You're building this entire empire around manifestation. But in a previous alternate version of your life, you might have been using your life force energy to do a job that didn't fulfill you. And you would have, let's say, maybe an eighth of the amount of energy you have on a day to day. So, generators are really here to use their life force energy to create the things that they love and find satisfaction in what they're creating. Another similar type, this is what I am, is known as manifesting generators. So we are a subset of pure generators, what CAT is. Manifesting generators, for those of you listening, this is about another 33% of the population. So about 2/3 of you listening are going to be one of these two types. Manifesting generators, we're similar to the generators. We're here to create what we love, but we're a little bit more non-linear. So I think Kat and Mai's example of life are very, very good examples of pure generators and manifesting generators. Kat found manifestation. She loved it. It lit her up. She completely dedicated herself to it and has built this beautiful business over the last 4 years. Me as a manifesting generator, and those of you manifesting generators listening, we have a little less straight of a path. We're maybe bopping around to a lot of different things. We have a lot of different passions. We are here to do what we love, but probably it's going to end up being a lot of different things that we love. We are the type with the most energy, maybe the most like sporadic energy almost, but between generators and manifesting generators, us 2/3 of the population, we're the ones here creating and building and really making the world into the place that we all live in and can be in. Then there are 3 other types that are known as the non-sacral types. These are types that are a little less common, but very essential. All of the energetic types, what I like to say is that each of us have a role to play. And if we're all playing our role, the world would be living in harmony. So the next most common type is called a projector. About 20% of the populations are projector types. For those of you who are listening who are projectors, you are here to be the guides of humanity. You are here to help the rest of us energy types know and see, where are we going? What are we doing that is maybe not working? How can we evolve and make changes? Projectors are incredibly important, but I'll also note projectors, they don't have that access to sacral energy in the way that Kat and I, as generator types, do. So, projectors aren't here to be working horses. They're not here to be actually working for 8 hours a day. I like to tell projectors, you're actually only meant to be working for about 4 hours a day. They really
Mm.
need to be resting in order to use that energy, but they're incredibly important to the population. The next type is called manifestors. Manifestors make up about 10% of the population. And manifestors are here to be the initiators, the fire starters. Manifestors are here. And I want to caveat because I know a lot of you listening are very interested in manifestation. Of course, we are on the No Bullshit Manifestation Show. This is a different type of manifestation in just the sense of like manifesting, meaning creating, initiating, starting. And so manifestor types are here to be kind of that spark starter, the one who are going to go out, initiate, have an idea, start the spark. The final type is called reflectors. These are less than 1% of the population. So if you're listening to this, you look up your chart, you are a reflector. You are incredibly rare, but incredibly valuable because reflectors, just like their names say, they reflect back to us what we are doing and who we are. Reflectors actually have completely open energy, meaning that they take in the energy of everyone else around them and reflect it back to us. And so they are really here to show all of us how is the health of our society? How is the health of our community? How can we learn and gain wisdom from these incredible, like oracle type people to help us build a better world? And so that's a very quick overview of each of the 5 types. But by learning your type and learning the way each type is meant to be, if we all were to do that, if every single person on the planet were to be living in alignment with their type, the vibrational frequency of the earth would completely elevate and we would all be living in harmony. The problem for so many of us is we are living out of alignment because we have been conditioned to believe things about ourselves that just aren't true. And so that's why I love human design, because it tells you, it gives you permission to be who you authentically already are. I know, Kat, when I first read your chart to you, it was like I was reading a guide to exactly who you are, but you were already living in. I wasn't telling you things you didn't already know about yourself, but rather giving you permission to say, yes, thank you. That is exactly who I am. Let me shine more brightly in those areas. Let me be more authentically myself so that I can give my unique gift back to the world.
Yeah, absolutely. And first of all, thank you for the overview because, and I've said this to you so many times, the way that human design has been described to me in the past, it wasn't broken down in such a simple way. It was so much more complex. And like you and I both know, like, I like to break it down as simple as possible. The No Bullshit Manifestation Show, making manifestation digestible because these are things that are innate to us. Like they're easy for us. These aren't wisdoms that we're learning from somewhere else and we're trying to implement into our lives. These are things that, like, if we just, like you said, got connected to ourselves and to our like authentic selves, we would know how to naturally do. But based off of societal norms and conditionings and beliefs and generational traumas and so on and so forth, we get disconnected from this. And just for everybody listening, like me knowing my human design and like hearing everything about my chart and my energy, like, yes, I feel so in alignment with it. But human design is such a powerful reminder for me that it's like when I'm not feeling that, it means that there's something that I'm not listening to. And there's something external typically that I'm subscribing to that I'm like, oh, I need to do it that way because that's the way that I see somebody else doing it that's being successful within it or whatever it may be. And that's not just business and money, that's also relationships and the way that you treat yourself on a day-to-day basis. And yeah, it's so damn powerful. And so Tal and I were sitting at a coffee shop yesterday. We were talking all about this and I picked her brain on all of these different questions. And one of the things that we really like came to within all of this is that you can feel this inside of your body when you're living in alignment with your energy type, with your human design. You can feel it in your body. And again, all of you here listening to the No Bullshit Manifestation Show, y'all know that I always relate back to coming home to your body because you are the center point of your manifestations. So, Tal, I would love to just like dive into for these different energy types, how do they feel it in their body and how does it differ from person to person, and like how can they start to get those like little nudges and signals within themselves of like, okay, this is right or not right for me?
Yeah, absolutely. It is so great with human design. Like you said, there's It's a complicated system. There are so many layers that you can go to, but at the simplest level, I always tell people I could tell you in 30 minutes by looking at your chart, 90% of what you need to know just to go back home to yourself. One of
Mm,
the key clues that I love telling people about that is each of the different five energy types, they have signposts or guideposts to know when they are living in alignment and when they are living out of alignment. So, for those of you listening who are generator types like Kat and I, so if you are a generator or a manifesting generator, when you are living in alignment, you are going to feel a deep sense of satisfaction. Let me know, Kat, is that something you feel pretty regularly when you're doing what you want to be doing?
yeah, literally, I woke up this morning and this happens to me basically, I'd say like probably 3 to 5 times a week. Like, I start to cry because I'm so grateful for the fact that this is my life. Like, I feel so satisfied with the fact that this is my life. Whereas, like, that didn't used to be the case. But since really getting to this place of alignment and satisfaction within myself, just like, yes, 100%.
It's so powerful. I love that you said that just before I got on this, got on the Zoom to talk to you for this podcast recording. I was doing a little breath work and kind of connecting with my energy. And what I do with that is I really try to cultivate this feeling of satisfaction inside my body. And I
Mhm.
started crying before I jumped on this call, just from like pure joy of how deeply I love myself and love the life I am creating now that I know myself and can connect with my energy. So, first of all, feel that deeply and feel the
Mhm.
fact that any of you listening, if you are a generator or manifesting generator, your one focus in life should be creating satisfaction for yourself, creating things that feel satisfying. On the flip side, when you are out of alignment, when you are doing things that aren't actually the right or correct way for you to be living, maybe you're saying yes to the wrong things, maybe you're believing things that society wants you to believe, but actually aren't your beliefs and aren't true for you, you will feel a deep sense of frustration. So, if you are feeling frustrated, that is a signal to you that you are off track, you are doing something wrong. It's an opportunity, Kat, to your point earlier, to look back inward and really ask, where am I, out of alignment? Where am I maybe a little off focus? Where am I focusing my energy on the wrong things? I can say for me, when I was at my corporate job a couple years ago, I started and ended the day simmering in frustration. Everything was
Mhm.
frustrating me. And that was just my life. I didn't know there was a different way to be living. Whereas now, and I'm sure, Kat, you feel the same way, of course, I still get frustrated. But as soon as I feel frustrated, it's an indicator to me, Tal, something's off. Go
Yeah.
back within and figure out, where are you off track? Let's refocus to realign to that satisfaction.
Absolutely, 100%. I noticed for me, especially like, yeah, baseline, I feel like baseline for me used to be frustration. And because there was so much frustration, I got to this place of almost like hopelessness within it of like, okay, well, I'm just always going to be frustrated
Mm.
and feeling as though that had to be the reality. And again, for everybody listening, like, not just within like money, but also within like relationships, friendships, how you feel in your body, day to day life, and being able to, for me, like pinpoint point that it was like, okay, yeah, like there's a little bit that I can do in each of these areas, if not a lot of it.
Mm.
And by chipping away piece by piece of like, okay, what is creating this dissatisfaction in these areas and coming back to a place of satisfaction, completely different shift. And I'm sure you can relate with this as well. It's like, it's not as hard. Like, I was working so hard for the
Mhm.
things that I had in my life when I was frustrated, for my relationships, for my friendships, for my money, for fucking everything. And now that I've released that kind of like the beliefs and whatnot that I had that held me in that place of frustration and have truly just followed my satisfaction, life is easy
Life is
most of the time.
easy. I mean, of course, life's not simple and easy all of the time, but what I say to people is human design helps you live a more easeful life because it
Mhm.
helps you follow the things that are right for you. We are meant to be going, with the current of the river. We are meant to be going with the flow of energy. But when we're living out of alignment, we're making our lives unnecessarily harder. And so
Yeah.
for you, if you're feeling frustrated, that's a sign that, hey, maybe you're swimming upstream towards the wrong thing. Let's pivot, let's redirect and figure out, how can I really get in alignment with that satisfaction.
Yeah. Yeah.
So that's,
Absolutely.
yeah.
And
So
you said that's generators and manifesting generators.
exactly. So that's manifesting generators and generators. For the other types, projector types, when they are living in alignment, they feel a sense of success. When I say this to projectors, they are like, oh, yes, they feel that so deeply. And on the flip side, for projectors, when they are living out of alignment, when they are not guiding people properly, when they are not waiting for the right invitations, which is their strategy in life, projectors are going to feel a sense of bitterness. And so if you are a
Mm.
projector, and you are feeling bitter, it is an indicator to you that something is off. Maybe you are out there trying to be a generator. Maybe you're working way too hard. You're not living in alignment and living easefully. Maybe you are trying to initiate like a manifester, but in reality, as a projector, you are meant to be waiting for other people to come to you so you can help guide them. When you are able to do that, you will feel deep success, and the people around you will feel, if they are generator types, deep satisfaction. And so for projectors, success is your positive guidepost and bitterness is your negative guidepost. For manifestor types, it is manifestors feel a sense of peace when they are living in alignment. Manifestors are the type that is out there creating, initiating, starting things. But when they are doing that from a place of true alignment, they will feel peace. It will not be stressful. It will not be difficult. It will be peaceful. On the flip side, if they are doing it incorrectly, manifestors feel anger. And so I know
Mm.
many of my manifestor clients, they feel this like deep anger inside of them when they are off track. And so for
Mm.
manifestor types, those of you listening who are manifestors, you want to be cultivating peace in your life. That is the way that you can be living the most aligned pathway. And then lastly, for the reflector types, the two signposts are delight or surprise. That is the sign that you are doing things correctly. Reflectors, again, they are picking up on all of the energy of everyone around us. And so when they are feeling delighted by the energies around them, that is a sign that they are healthy, that they are not
Mm.
taking on the wrong energies, that they are simply reflecting back to other people. And then the negative signpost for reflectors is disappointment. So if they are feeling disappointed, that is a sign that they are off track. So all of these types, these different emotions, I like to say like they're a little bit similar, right? Satisfaction, success, peace, but it really clues you in. And for almost everyone I've ever spoken to, when they hear that positive or negative signpost, they're like, ooh, yeah, I feel that and I can identify it.
Yeah.
That's like the fastest way for anyone listening. Start paying attention to your two signposts and start pivoting and redirecting your life based on those. That is the easiest way to start implementing human design in your life and start seeing immediate changes to help you live more easefully and more authentically.
Yeah. So, so cool. Because it's like, again, making this as simple as we possibly can, making it as integratable as you possibly can, because I'm a firm believer, and I talk about this all the time with my clients and on the podcast, is like this ladder of believability where it's like, you want to start like wherever you are, you just want to start a peg up from there and you want to integrate in whatever is at that level so that you can continue to dig deeper. I think the first time I even heard about human design, I was given what's at the top of the ladder. And so I
Mhm.
was like, fuck me. Like, I don't know what to do with this versus what Tal is saying. If like this is new to you, being able to integrate in, okay, these are my two signposts. This is when I'm feeling in alignment. This is when I'm not feeling in alignment. And based off of those emotions and what I'm experiencing and feeling inside of my body, like I can check in and see where I'm at. That's incredible because then once you are there, you can take the next step within your chart. You can take the next step within your chart and keep diving deeper and getting to this place of just like full alignment with it. So I want to take it back to projectors for a minute because I know I asked you this yesterday and this actually like blew my mind because I've heard this and I attract so many projectors into my life. And honestly, a lot of my clients are projectors. Is the invitation. So, for everybody who's listening as a projector with that invitation, what does that mean for them?
Yeah. So, what Kat's referring to is that each type in human design has what's called a strategy of how they're meant to
Mhm.
be living. And so, the strategy for projectors is to wait for the invitation. And I've done a lot of projector readings in my lifetime. And I think they are the ones who get the most bitter, let's say, when they first hear their strategy, because they're like, wait, I just need to wait around for an invitation. It can feel when you first hear it, like you're really giving away your power, that you're having to wait. However, for projectors, look at it as a beautiful opportunity, because what it means for you to be waiting for the invitation is that you are meant to wait for somebody external to you to see all the power that you are cultivating in and of yourself. And so, what I like to tell projectors is that your magic is your waiting period. Your magic is your waiting. And so, while you are waiting for the invitation from someone else to come, all you need to do is be following what fascinates you. So
Mm.
if you're a projector who's listening and let's say you want to build a business, you want to be an entrepreneur, but you feel like I need to wait for the invitation to come, what you are meant to be doing while you are waiting is to be starting to study what you love, starting to really dedicate yourself to it. Take courses, go out and talk to people in the space. Maybe you're wanting to start teaching about yoga, like sign up for a yoga class, go meet more yoga teachers, go talk to people. By just dedicating yourself to the things that you love in that magic waiting period, what you are going to do is make yourself magnetic to attract those invitations to you. People are going to start to see you and say, whoa, that person is an incredible yoga teacher, an incredible manifestation teacher, whatever it is. The invitations then are going to come to you. And so it's not waiting around, sitting and being a couch potato doing nothing. It is waiting for someone to recognize all of the power that you already have and that you are creating for yourself, to give you that opening to partner or collaborate with them and then create something beautiful and magical.
I love that so much, because one of the things that I've like seen and recognized since diving into human design is that like a lot of the powerful like leaders, guides in this world are projectors.
Mhm.
Like, and it was so funny for me for a period of time. I was like, I don't get it because of that piece of the invitation, but it's like you said, when you're following what fascinates you, when you're becoming a master of your craft,
Mhm.
that's going to magnetize in. Literally, like that is energy. That is the law of attraction. That vibration going out of like, okay, I am following my fascination and I am becoming the master of this. That attracts everything that you need back into your life. So that's so cool. And so we talked about projectors. Do you want to talk about strategy for the other energy types?
Yeah, absolutely. So the closest to that, so projectors, it's waiting for the invitation. And I'll also add to that too, waiting to be recognized. And so for projectors, it's really, like you said, mastering your craft and trusting that that recognition is going to come to you, that that invitation is going to come. For generator types, so manifesting generators and generators, our strategy is to respond. And I like to really clarify with people, it is to respond, not to react. So we talk about that
Hmm.
a lot. There is a difference between a response and a reaction. But for us too, there is an element of waiting, because what we are meant to do, kind of similar to the projectors, is we are meant to follow the things that light us up, because we have what I talked about at the beginning, that juicy sacral life force energy. We are like automatically a magnet. We have these warm, open auras that are bringing people to us. I see this like when I first saw Kat, I was like, ooh, that's a juicy, delicious aura I want to be a part of, right? We're drawn to those people. And then those of you with a sacral defined, so generator and manifesting generator types, your sacral is a binary that responds with either a yes or a not right now. It feels like that gut response that you've probably been told about your whole life. That is your sacral giving you that hit of energy that's going to say, ooh, yes, respond yes to this. This feels good. Or, this isn't for me, not right now. And so I like to tell generators and manifesting generators that your only job in life is to respond to the opportunities that you inevitably will attract to you. Show up in the world, be your magnetic, dynamic self, let opportunities come to you, and then properly respond to them. Say yes to the things that are giving you that sacral yes, But more importantly, say no to the things that are giving you that sacral no. That is the biggest downfall I see with so many generator types is many of us, especially if you are a former healing people pleaser like me, we're saying yes to too many things. We're saying yes to the wrong things, and we're draining our energy incorrectly. So, generators and manifesting generators out there, your only job is to respond and to let your sacral lead those responses. So, you are spending your energy on the things that are correct for you, and you are avoiding wasting your energy on the things that you're not actually interested in doing to begin with.
So powerful. And it comes back to full circle of what you're saying of like getting to know yourself and be able to advocate for yourself in that way of like, yeah, no, this isn't what I want. Although my people pleasing tendencies from the past, or this belief that it's selfish, or whatever it may be, tells me that I should be saying yes to this, or I should be saying no to that thing that I love, is coming back to this place of like, but this is my life. And like, I get to, it's for me. So I want to and get to know myself on that level so that I can respond in a way that's going to support my energy.
Yes. And if you're responding to the wrong things, if you're saying yes to things that aren't correct for you, you're setting yourself up for failure. And so that's something, if
Mhm.
ever I have a client who comes to me and they're feeling off track, they're feeling out of alignment, they're feeling really drained, and they have that sacral response, that's going to be my first question is, how many things did you say yes to yesterday that in your body you knew were actually a no? So generators and manifesting generators, that is a great practice as well. Follow your satisfaction, but honor what your yeses and nos are. And I guarantee you, within 1 week, your energy and your life are completely going to transform.
Oh, challenge for y'all. Bring it on. See, for 1 week, like Tal said, follow that. See what happens.
See what happens. And it can be scary to follow our bodies. And that's what this is all about. And that's what I love about human design is it gives you permission to say, I kind of already knew that I was saying yes to the things that were really no's, but let me experiment with this. Try it. I always tell people experiment with your human design for 1 week, 1 month, a couple months, and just see if it doesn't work for you, fine. But I
Mhm.
promise, because I've worked with hundreds of people, it is going to work for you when you pay attention to it. Like Kat said, it's just about coming home and coming back to you and giving you new strategies to live in your authentic alignment.
Love that. Cool. So that's projectors, manifesting generators, and generators. How about
Yes.
manifestors?
Yes. So manifestors have a really fun one. And manifesting generators, listen to this as well, because this is also important for you because you have some of that manifesting energy within your chart as well. But manifestors, their only job is to follow the things they want to do. And they're going to know that innately. When they're
Mhm.
listening to their body, they're going to have something that fascinates them and that excites them. The trick for manifestors is that they need to inform the people around them of what they are going to do before they go do it. So,
Ooh.
yes. Manifestors are only 10% of the population, but they're the 10% who initiate 100% of what is happening.
Mhm.
So we need them to be out there and going and doing the thing they want to do. But the rest of us who don't have quite as much manifesting capabilities as them, we sometimes don't understand what they're about to do and we can get in their way. If you're a
Mm.
manifester, I bet this resonates with you because every manifester I know, my best friend is a manifester, you probably most of your life were told, especially as a child, sit down, like stop initiating. Who are you? You're a 6 year old,
Mm.
like sit. And so it makes you afraid to go initiate the things that you want to initiate. So I see two different types of manifestors usually ones who are completely repressed and initiate nothing, or
Mhm.
ones who are recklessly initiating and afraid to communicate with anyone else around them about what they're going to do because they don't want those people to stand in their way. The
Mm.
invitation that I give to manifestors is the rest of us want you to initiate and we want to know what you are about to initiate so we can hop on board. If there is a manifester in my life, my best friend, my former roommate is a great example. She would have all these great ideas of things she wanted to do on a weekend. Like we would go on crazy weekend adventures. And by her just telling me, hey, Tal, I'm going to do this thing, then all of a sudden I have something to respond to. Her initiation, me as a generator type, can respond and be like, ooh, that sounds exciting. What if we also did this, this, and this? But if she didn't tell me what she was about to go do, and then all of a sudden I see on Instagram that she's doing this cool thing I wasn't invited to, I'm going to be like, hey, next time, stop doing that. Don't get in my way. And all of a sudden block her energy. So
Yep.
manifestors, all you need to do what you want, but inform the people in your life about what you are about to do before you take action. That will help them get on board and actually support you, support the thing you are wanting to start. You get some of our beautiful generator energy to hop on board, maybe some beautiful projector guiding energy for you to be able to start the things that you want to start. All you need to do is inform the people around you.
I love that. Do you notice with people that you've worked with who are manifestors, when they share with some people, those people try to get in their way when it's like they're initiating this thing, they're communicating it, and then there's this like limiting belief or fear or doubt from the person that they're telling that's like, no, you shouldn't. Like that's a bad decision.
Absolutely. And I think with manifestors specifically, each energetic type has an aura. I mentioned the generator aura is like warm and open. Manifestor energy is a little repelling because they are the fire
Mm,
starters. They are the ones moving out there. So I also tell manifestors, the people who are going to use those limiting beliefs against you, who are going to try to stand in your way, the people that you are repelling, you are meant to repel them to get
mm,
your path clear to get to where you want to go. So when you inform people, you will either have the people who are against what you're about to do. Those are the people you need to say, thank you, but no thank you. I'm going to keep moving in the direction I want to go in. But most of the manifestors I work with, they are so surprised by how easy it is when they just inform the people around them, even the people who aren't necessarily on board to support what they are moving forward with. The people feel so relieved that they were just informed about it
mm.
that they kind of clear the path and move out of their way anyway. So
Yeah.
most manifestors I talk to, they're almost afraid to inform because they think people are going to get in their way.
Yeah.
It's shocking how quickly it actually just helps people either jump on board and help them move forward, or people will just say, you know what, you do you, I'm going to move out of the way because your energy is so big and powerful. I don't want to be crushed by it, but at least now I know I need to move.
Yeah. So powerful. I love that.
Yes, manifestor types are like so beautiful. I love the manifestors in my life and I want them to just step into their power. Like you go do you. We all want you to be doing what you're doing. Just let us know ahead of time before you take
Yeah.
that next step.
Yeah.
Exactly.
Cool.
And
And
last,
then how about the reflectors?
yeah, so reflectors are so unique and interesting. If you're a reflector and listening to this, just reach out to me. I would love to talk to you about how you are meant to be living. My cousin and very close friend, she is a reflector, and the strategy for reflectors is to wait a lunar cycle. So they are meant to wait 28 days before they make a big decision. Obviously, this doesn't mean, wait 28 days before you decide what you're going to eat for dinner. But for big decisions, reflectors want to wait a full lunar cycle because throughout the course of a lunar cycle, the moon actually activates all of the different energies within a reflector type. So they are able to fully understand what is the full breadth of what I need to know about this decision I am going to make. So,
Mhm.
reflectors, it is incredibly important for them, similar to what we were talking about with the waiting. There's so much waiting and patience embedded in all of our charts. But reflectors, they want to wait until they get all of the information necessary for all of the energy to flow through them so they can really know I have all the information I need. I am really making this decision from the core of who I am, not from all of the other energies around me, but from my authentic energy. And by waiting that full lunar cycle, they will activate all of their own authentic energy within their body so they know what is right and what is wrong for them.
Mhm. Oh, it's so damn powerful. It's just like it's so cool because there's so many, and we talk about this all the time. There's just so many like scripts, narrative messages, especially in the online space at the moment, that's like, this is how you are supposed to be doing things. And if you are not doing things this way, then you're not going to get what you want. And it's like, not true whatsoever, because we are also unique within our own energy types, within our own past experiences, within all of this. But being able to, again, full circle back to the beginning of this conversation, like live authentically with yourself, get to know yourself authentically, then things become a little bit easier, if not a lot bit easier.
I'm going to promise a lot bit easier, but
Yeah.
exactly. It's just getting to know your body. And that's what it shows so beautifully. Part of human design, it shows you what energies you have consistent access to that you can trust. And so, yeah, if you are a projector type and your whole life you were told, listen to your gut. Guess what? Actually, your gut is not 100% reliable for you, but there
Mhm.
are other parts of your chart that are. And so when you look at your chart, you can see, what do I have consistent access to energy? Where is my energy day in and day out guaranteed to work for me? And how can I use that to live a life that is authentic to me, not just what the person online that I saw on Instagram is telling me worked for them? Because we're all different. We should all be listening to our bodies differently.
Yeah, absolutely. And I feel as though I just really want to reiterate what you just said, Tal, which is like this really like deep trust within yourself that you know yourself better than anybody else. And if you feel as though you do not know yourself right now, this is a very, very powerful first place to start because, yeah, what works for me, and we talked about this yesterday, is like what works for me of like me listening to my gut. I always know. Like, I literally TMI to all of the people who are listening, but like when something is blocking me intuitively, I will get constipated because
Mhm.
that is what I have such like intense sacral energy. It all hangs out right here in my gut. So it's like I know always what my gut is saying to me, but a lot of people don't have that because that's not what is in their chart and is in their energy type. So, yeah, really being able to understand yourself in this way, I just think is beyond powerful and important. So for anybody who's listened to this podcast and like resonates with everything that we're talking about, what would you say is their first step they should take?
Yeah. So, first step is definitely pulling your chart. If you haven't pulled it, go find out what your energetic type is and take a look at it. The main things I tell people that they're going to want to take a look at. So, first, your energetic type. You can learn more about what your energetic aura is, how other people are going to come in contact with you, and then the strategies that we just discussed, along with those signposts. Those are some of like the meatiest, most delicious things you can learn about human design. The next thing that is so important and is unique to everyone, not based on type, but actually based on which energy centers you specifically have defined in your chart, each of us have a unique authority. Our authority in human design is how we are meant to make decisions. So actually, Kat and I have different authorities. Kat's is her sacral. So she, in the moment, gets this immediate gut response that tells her, this is right for me, this is wrong for me. However, 50% of the population, we have what's called an emotional authority. Emotional authority, it means we need to wait until we reach emotional neutrality to make a decision. That is very different. Those are two very different things.
Mhm.
So, for those of you listening, pull your chart, look up your authority because that tells you how you are meant to be making decisions and is going to help you really start aligning to your correct life path. The third thing I always tell everyone to look at is your different energy centers. When you pull your chart, you're going to see there's 9 different shapes on the chart. Some of those are defined, some of those are undefined, meaning some are colored in, some are not colored in. What is so beautiful about that as a map, the places where you are undefined are actually the places where I start with my coaching clients doing deconditioning work, because those are
Mm.
the places where we've absorbed the most beliefs from society that are not actually our own. So, not only does this give you a map of how you are meant to be living, it also gives you a map of where most of your wounds probably are and most of your conditioning probably is. So, it's an incredible tool to kind of get to know yourself, but also peel back the layers of what's not you, what you've believed about yourself, what you believed, for me, that I had to live in a corporate job and that I was a straight girl who was going to get married and have kids. All of that was conditioned into me based on my undefined centers. And so by looking at your centers and your type, strategy, and authority, that is like 95% of the information that you can learn. However, there's so much deeper than that. When you pull your chart, you'll see every little number has a meaning, every little color has a meaning. And so to really understand the deeper details of what your life purpose is, of what you are meant to be doing, where you need healing, that's where the help of somebody who has studied human design deeply can really come in. And so working with someone like me who can give you a full chart reading and really tell you, here are all the different things you need to know. Here are the things that are most powerful about your chart. That's where really getting an expert in it is going to help you, because you do not want to get lost in the sauce. You want to make sure you're pulling out the most important piece of information that individually and uniquely impact you.
Yeah. So damn good. And y'all, if you're not obsessed with Tal after this podcast episode, I don't know what's going on in your life, but we're going to share where you can find her and connect with her and get that reading if you're wanting one in just a moment. But Tal, I have one last question for you. This is the question that I ask all of my guests on the No Bullshit Manifestation Show, which is, if you had one piece of no bullshit advice to give to everybody, what would it be? And it doesn't have to be directly related to this, but if it is, awesome. But yeah, what's your one piece of no bullshit advice?
Such a good question. I think my one no bullshit advice, my one no bullshit advice, that's hard to say, is that you are meant to be listening to nobody but yourself. And that if ever you are listening to someone, to our point earlier, who's saying you should be doing it this way, you need to, do things in a certain way, you need to be listening to these certain pieces of advice, that should be an immediate red flag to you. You always want to go back home to yourself and to your body. Your body is never going to lead you astray. Always go home to you, always listen to yourself before anyone else, including Kat and I. Like, if we're saying something to you that feels off to you, we're also coming from our own unique lens. And so that is why, to me, human design has become such a beautiful study, because it is uniquely tailored to you and how you are meant to be living, not how anyone else is meant to be living. And each of us are unique. So find the thing that uniquely works for you. Do not listen to anyone else.
Love that. And also, like, I just want to say, I love that you throw the caveat in there of like including us, because I think it's so easy. Like we said, like looking to these people online, on podcasts, in your day-to-day life, and like putting them on this pedestal and being like, well, that's what Tal said. Oh, well, that's what Kat said. Oh, well, that's what AJ said. That's whoever, like, that's what they said. So that's what I'm going to do. And it's like, if it doesn't land in the body, question it. Like, maybe it's just a bit of resistance, but maybe it's not. Maybe it is something that like you actually don't need for yourself, and you're the only one who knows that. And that's something I know I share with you, is like, I say that to my clients all the time. Like, I will give you my opinion and I will tell you what I think it is based off of like knowing you deeply and seeing this within you. But like, you never actually have to listen to me.
Tell me where I'm wrong. I say that to my clients all the time. Tell me where I am wrong when I am giving you advice about something, because you know yourself better than anyone. Even when I look at your chart and can see so much about you, you know how it lands within your body. You know what actually feels right to you. And I think, to your point, question everything. Question everything you are told to make sure it feels authentically aligned for you. Because if you don't and it doesn't, you're going to end up 50 years from now waking up on a life path that feels totally unfulfilling and purposeless. And you're going to wish you started that journey of questioning a whole lot sooner.
Absolutely. Yeah. When you're saying that for yourself, I was like, thank God you're not a straight girl who works in corporate.
Can you imagine?
We wouldn't have found each other.
We would not have found each other. I would have spent that Sunday like on my laptop working. Who knows?
Oh yeah, no, thank goodness. And Tal, thank you so much for just like all of this wisdom, for everything you've shared with us. Like I said, if the listeners aren't obsessed with you like I am, I don't know what they're doing. But with that being said, where can they find you and what do you have going on that they can be a part of?
Yes. So first of all, thank you, Kat. Thank you so much. You have been such a light and joy in my life. And I'm just so honored to get to talk to your community, because I know I am Kat's biggest fan over here. So anyone listening, we have that in common. But yes, so you can find me on socials, and my website is Energy with Tal. So Energy with Tal, you can do that energywithtal.com or Instagram Energy with Tal. And currently my offerings. So as we've been saying, I do these, I call them energy explorations, but it's basically a chart reading. So we will explore together your chart. And I'll just say what we've talked about today is the very tip of the iceberg. There is so much deeper you can go into. And so if this is landing with you, if you're getting that sacral yes or that body sensation that you want to learn more, the first path to starting is going to be signing up for an energy exploration. And then I also do one-on-one coaching with people to help them really get back to themselves, to empower them to be living as their true authentic self and in their own energy. And so if you are someone who's looking to get back home to you, to start making decisions in alignment with who you are, you're ready to say yes today to make a change in your life. I also have one-on-one coaching where we really go deep and help you learn everything you can about who you are, where you are meant to be going, and the easiest ways to get there. Let's find those cheat codes for you all so you can be living a more easeful and abundant life.
Yeah. So damn good. And for all of you who are listening, all of that's going to be linked down below in the show notes, as well as Tal's Instagram. So you can connect with her over there, see what she's doing, receive her daily goodness, because damn, is it good. And yeah, Tal, again, thank you, thank you, thank you. This is like, I mean, I'm biased, but like my favorite podcast interview so far.
Me too. I love you so much. And just, yes, I'm so excited for any of you listening. Reach out, send me a DM. I'd love to talk to you. I'd love to see your chart and help you start living the life you want to be living. Because trust me, no matter how off course you feel like you are now, you can right size that. You can get to where you want to go in a very short amount of time. So thank you for listening. Thank you for having me.
Absolutely.